Hey, good morning everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Concrete with the Hosses. We came over here, what is this? This is Friday. We came over here yesterday after we finished the steps. Steven and Matt, Jim, and Stan finished up the steps there for us. Tommy and I finished the day out over here getting these sidewalks ready. So we're doing sidewalks all the way around this building. Weather's turning crummy, so we're just trying to hurry a little bit on it. We just finished pouring this, and it was a busy morning. I didn't have time to get the camera set up, so we're just getting it edged. We built a landing over there, steel decking, not real big, came together real nice. A lot of sidewalk. They're 8 inches thick, heavy 6-gauge wire with a number 5 rebar out here at the front. We don't know what's rolling through these doors, so we just beefed it up a little bit. We were just going over cut layout. You know, a lot of times we'll just run 5-foot pads all the way down, but it's going to want to crack off of these posts, and it's going to want to crack off of the corner of the door. And it's going to want to crack off of this center cut coming off of the floor. So even though we have expansion joint with joint cap, it still could come through that floor crack. So we're going to do center cut off the door, corner off the door, center on the downspout, and then repeat corner of the door, center door, and so on the whole way down. So that's our joint spacing and why we are doing that. So we're running our curb edger on the outside perimeter, putting that together. Concrete's pretty soft yet. We upped this to a 4,500 psi mix. 8 inches thick, heavy reinforcement in there. We didn't have to do that other than the time of year. More cement in there just gives us a stronger mix, a little bit quicker than the 4,000 28-day set. This will set. This will get to 500 psi probably in about a day and a half to 2 days, and then we don't have to worry about the cold temperatures coming in. All right. Okay, concrete setting up pretty good. Matt's starting to cut over there. I'll jump in here. Center a pipe straight out. I like that. Edge of the door. Now on these corners, we don't want to see a crack coming out here. So we just take a float, and it's not jab, 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 jab. It's one push. Just to separate that aggregate through there. And that'll assure that the crack comes straight ahead. I'm even going to do it out here. See how you can't even tell now, but the aggregate's all separated underneath there. So the concrete has to be fairly tight for that. But you need to be able to get it in. There's my gloves. So the concrete's finally hard enough to get on. These big doors, the springs aren't hooked up yet. We can't open them, and they're all wet, so nothing would stick to them. We tried putting cardboard in front of them, but they still got splashed up just a little bit. So a quick wipe. So this white stuff is cap that goes over our expansion joint, and this top edge will peel off and caulk it. Help keep the moisture from getting between the two pads. I'll show you a piece of that when I'm done. So we're all done up against the building, just hitting this outer edge. You don't want to leave those lines there. You'll see them in a broom mark. Just wipe them out. Just had a little hump there I'm trying to cut down and fill in. Now what's going to help here, the concrete's still pretty creamy on top. I'll take our curb edger and open this up, so that when we broom it, all we have to do is glaze it. If we do it like this, then we'll take a lot of work to clean that up. Hopefully it gets quiet around here. So I just C-clamped a 2x8 to my angle iron, both sides, and then screwed this board on. So I'm gonna take this off and finish this. There we go, that's better. Okay. Lightly Cool sent these out to us about 2 months ago. And to tell you the truth, I didn't think much of them, but it's really holding up quite well. There you go. You want to go straight down when you can. Ooh. It's still pretty soft. Yeah. We're going to end our finish edge marks right here, so I'm going to wipe these out. And you don't brush, you always start at the corner and pull it back. That's what we want to see on our finished face, right like that. And finally, all this is finished. You just take our hand brush. I want to broom this outer portion. Give it that curved look. We just want these intersections to be nice. That's what we want them to look like when they're broomed. Make sure that's opened up. Ready to broom down there? Good down here, ready to broom down there? Yeah. Okay. So that is it. I'll leave those clamps on there and I'll take them off last thing today. Okay, Matt's just finishing up the curb broom. It's nice and straight. We'll do the whole 8 inches, Steve. How's that look? Pretty good. A little bit right there, huh? Get out of your way. Yeah, no landscape up on that. So we'll just finish this down a couple inches. And that is it for back here. I'd say 3 or 4 inches, Steve. You don't have to get it all the way to the ground. So our sidewalk is 8 feet off of the building. So we pulled 8 foot 1.5 inches, 8 foot 1.5 inches, and put a string line on it. And about every 3 feet, we'll screw a 2x4 to the asphalt at 8 foot 1.5 inches out. And then we'll take our 2x8 and screw it right to the face of that. And that should set us up at 8 feet off of the building. And I'd like to string it as far as we can, just in case that building has a little kink in it. We want our sidewalk to look nice and straight from one end of the parking lot to the other. So just bring those blocks right to the string. even leave a tiny gap there. Lifely pulls, runs these screws right into the asphalt. If it were warmer out, you could use tap cons and run them in, but these screws are holding real nice in this colder weather. So tap conning onto there. This is our corner. We'll pull the string down that face so we're nice and straight. This is set for height, so I just nailed on a 2x10 underneath our top board. We're going to pour this all concrete. That way they can taper. They're going to add parking spaces out here, and they can taper that all down. The walk's going to end right there. Okay. Okay, so what we want to do here is screw this and then push that in. So we want to be leaning in 3/4 of an inch, so the car tire hits here and not here.
Can I just measure all the spots I have the string at 8 foot, or is that what you didn't want to kink and see how it looks?
I think we're, you know, it should be good, right? It's got to be extremely close. Like that. See how that's leaning in? So we just came back here, loaded up all of our steel on the trailer, hauling it out front. Okay, 2x4s right here. I'll finish that bulkhead up. Danlo's gonna build this. Done with that softer now. So we just put kickers against that to pins. We need to put another 2x10 under there and maybe a 2x4 underneath that corner. That board's cut the length. You'll do it the same way we did that side. So that's the face of our curb, and this is where we're going to start pouring the sidewalk on Monday. That way they can use this door while we block that door. So I made this little bulkhead, 7¼ inches, same width as the curb. Our rebar will come under it. I notched it out so our rebar can come underneath the walk there and tie everything together. I didn't want to just run a 2x8 across, and I didn't want to run a 2x4 and have concrete come out, because you'll see it in that face right there. Sorry. You'll see we want a nice clean edge up and down here. So we'll go ahead and get this graded. We'll push all the excess back. I don't think we're going to tamp it. It's all real solid, and it's all just going to fall right in the ditch. So we'll go ahead and get some rebar in this face, get a little bit of stone, wire mesh, call it a weekend. Okay, so just in the ditch, we pound some verticals. Oh, about every 6 or 8 feet. And I'll do that all the way down the ditch. Okay, rebar are all in the ditch. I just finished up putting the chairs in. We're going to go ahead and place the wire on top of it. And we have a second rod laying here as we're pouring. We're going to lay that right on top. So we're down about 3 inches in about 6 inches. Okay, so that's our wire. This is 6-gauge wire. It's real heavy, hard to pick up. So we got it up on chairs. And the chairs actually help it from bending down into the ditch. So I'll put this on and help these guys.